Hello and welcome to my new moon in Pisces tarot energy reading for March of 2024, or whenever you happen to find this little piece of magic waiting for you. It is the last new moon in the Zodiac cycle. Our next new moon will also be a total solar eclipse here in the Midwest, Northern Hemisphere on Monday, April 8th in Aries. And there's so much attention being put on this next new moon. So I feel like we have this last little window right now to complete a whole bunch of things that perhaps we've been exploring over the past year and find a way to integrate whatever the lessons are so that we're ready for the new beginning, the new activation, the shift in awareness and perspective that will happen in just a few weeks. So today we are going to focus on Pisces energy. I am going to pull 3 cards from the Lightseer. I didn't have the thing from the Lightseer Tarot for you. One for the individual now, one for the collective now, and one for the highest potential for our next lunar cycle, carrying us into the next one in April. And then I will do an extended reading, which will have deeper content on each of these. And then I will create a guided meditation that will bring all of it together. So thank you for joining me in this space. I keep things really simple. This is not my full-time gig. This is something that I do for fun because I love reading cards and I love using the imagery on the cards as archetypes, as portals into translating what I feel happening in our energy space, individually and collectively. So not very fancy, but lots of heart and lots of fun and pleasure in the process. So thank you for joining me here. All right, 3 cards. We are going to do the individual now first. So where are we at individually? What am I experiencing? Which also means what are your matches to that and what you're experiencing. So, whoop, as I flip, I don't do those flips. So we're just going to keep going. And yeah, we're going to pull this one. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups, walking away. Perfect for the individual now. I feel like we just had that one recently. Okay, and then the collective now. 6 of Wands. Ta-da! Ta-da! I just pulled this for a different reading. I love it. I love that card. And then the, actually that was the card that I had pulled in December for this month of March. So collectively, I feel like that's exactly in alignment. All right, and then the highest potential for us for the next lunar cycle. 2 of Cups. I know we just had that one. We had that in January. 2 of Cups. There's definitely a sense of completing because, you know, so much of these are ones we've had before, or the weaving of the energy, bringing it all together here at the end of this Zodiac cycle. So beautiful. I love how the individual and the collective now are one person. The highest potential is 2 hands, 2 cups. You know, this is Pisces energy for me. It's unified together. We're supporting each other. We're coming together as a group, as a community. It's also Pluto and Aquarius energy. Okay, let's dive into these a little bit together and see where the journey takes us. So, individual now, what is it that you notice about this card as you look at it on your own? What jumps out at you? Brings up a lot of emotion for me in so many ways. So I'm going to try to share it in a clear, articulated way. The first is, it looks almost like a movie scene because there's these little shadows on the corner, like you're looking through a viewfinder at somebody in a camera walking away from you, or someone's recording you walking away from them. So it feels very interactive. It's not just this person having their own experience by themselves. It's with somebody else is how it feels to me. And it depends on, do you feel like you're the person who's walking away, or do you feel like you're the person who's being walked away from, left behind, deliberately, unconsciously, whatever ways you interpret it. But they're very different experiences if you're the one choosing to do the walking, or if you're the one who is sitting waiting while the other person is leaving. They're very different experiences, but it's the same story. It's the same moment. It's the same individual activation that's happening. It's just your interpretation of the story is so different than the other person's interpretation of the story, whichever one you happen to be. When I look at this woman walking away, I see myself in some respects walking away from communities or programs I've had or gatherings that I've hosted, walking away from what looks like abundance in the cup. My husband uses this phrase all the time: don't ever walk away from money on the table. And he was raised that way, especially in the stage union with all the events. You don't ever say no to an opportunity to make money. And so anytime there's an event in town, you say yes, because you don't want to leave money on the table. And it's a mindset that to me feels, and we've had lots of conversations about this, it feels like there's only so much money and there's only so many opportunities for it to be on the table. And maybe there's even only so many tables. And so don't ever walk away from it, because there may not be another chance. You may not get more money, or you may not get another seat at that table. And so there's an inherent sense of not enough for everybody, or missed opportunities if you say no. And so that's the phrase that's coming to mind as I look at this cup sitting on the beach. She's walking away from what looks like money, abundance, success, the things in the cup that maybe we want to have. They're sitting here and she's leaving. She's not staying here to pick up what's in the cup. This is the 8 of Cups, though. So when I look at this, I'm like, where's the other 7 cups? This is only one of them. So maybe over here by the sunshine in the distance, she sees 7 other cups in her vision, in her third eye. She knows there's all these other communities, gatherings, experiences, financial success, whatever the words are. There's this. Over here, off in the distance. And she can see it. Or we go from the 1 cup here on the ground to the 2 of Cups over behind the sunshine. She sees a different collaboration, a different potential than the one that is physically right here in the moment in front of her. And so there's a choice. This is my reading of the card. There's a choice for her to say, do I sit here on this beach with this 1 cup, or do I walk away from it, leaving whatever it looks like I'm leaving, knowing I'm walking into just a different creative expression, a different creative potential, where there's lots of cups or lots of other communities or people. And so it's not really, there's no lack in that. There's a prosperity and overflow and abundance, trust that there's a different reality that's always waiting to be birthed. And so the 8 also to me symbolizes infinity, this constant dance between the infinite and the finite, the spiritual and the material, the dreams, the stars, ideas of what could be brought down here into the manifested plane. And so the 8 of Cups, it matters to me that that's the card we picked for the individual now. It's not the 1 of Cups, the 2 of Cups. It's right now you already have 8 cups. There's already abundance everywhere in your reality, all around you, all the time. And so maybe you choose to walk away from one, but there's so many others that are waiting. Or if you're the one here in the viewfinder watching the one walking away, maybe there's one cup in between the two of you that's now complete. But if you stand up and walk into the sun, or you turn around and walk that direction, or you just turn around right next to you, there might already be 7 other cups right next to you in this moment that are just waiting for you to remember that they're right there. And so can you shift your viewfinder? Can you adjust your lens, your perspective, to see the story a little differently than perhaps what it looks like on the surface, looking at the card? There's a lot in one card. I also love the imagery of the sun rising in the distance. When I went to turn my music on to play in the background, what is it called? It's you know how they have the day list in Spotify where it picks music for you? It has this exact color of the sunshine with like a soft blue sky around it, and it says Warm Dream Thursday Afternoon is my playlist name. So I feel like there's this warm dream that she trusts and knows if she follows the frequency, if she keeps walking into the sunlight, if she keeps following her bliss and her joy. The 8 of Cups is everywhere all around. Her reality will adjust. The warm dream will become the reality because she's choosing to be in the frequency that is guiding her, is compelling her forward, is magnetizing her into her next experience. And also, like, she's freaking hot. I mean, she's got everything she needs. She's got a really cute little outfit. Looks like her hair is healthy. Her body is healthy. She looks like relaxed. I mean, she's just walking on a beautiful beach into a sunset. It's not all bad. I think sometimes we judge our own reality as lacking or not exactly what we want it to be yet, not what we've always dreamed of it being. Like the warm dream over here in the distance looks so great, but we're here and we got to work, we got to do these things. Or like me right now, I've got a cold. We give ourselves all this like, oh, it's not perfect, it's not the best it could be, but it's pretty sweet. If you're able to stop your current schedule enough to watch tarot reading videos, you've got a pretty good reality. Like there's space in there for you to be creative and to listen to new voices and to get ideas and to be validated on your spiritual experience in the moment. Like there's spaciousness in your life that allows you this sort of creative vortex. So that's already a pretty good reality. And the other stuff, comes in as you're ready to hold it. Which leads me to, by the way, I also want to say, it looks like that cup is burning. Do you see it? So I would like to say, at the new moon, what I traditionally do is I write down on a big piece of paper my intentions and then all of the intentions of those who are in my Practicum 01 class, my grounding class. And we get on a call, a manifestation call. This month, it's going to be next week on Wednesday. And I write our intentions onto this big sheet of paper, and I add pictures and emphasis and energy to it. And then at the end of the new moon cycle, I shouldn't say that, within 3 days of the actual new moon, so the intense part of manifestation time, I'll burn that sheet of paper and release it to the stars and send the intentions out, trusting that they're going to come back into the physical. And so that practice might be something for you to do at this new moon. Even looking back at the whole year, all of the new moons from now backwards through the Aries one in 2023. And just feel like, what were the desires that you wanted to send out? And is there a way to summarize them? Is there a way to bring them to a completion and then send that intention out into the universe and burn it? So burn what's in the cup. My cat just came over, and so my nose is all itchy now because she's shedding all of her hair. So there you go, a ritual for you for this new moon. Jade, you are, there's hair flying all over the space now. By the way, she's sitting right on top of the cards, right in between me and the video camera, like doing some energy work for us. So thank you, Jade, for bringing all of your magic here. All right, this is the collective now. What do you notice about this card? What emotions does it bring up in you? Again, another young, healthy, well-dressed. Look at the two of them with their little hippie outfits on, back turned to us, just doing their thing. What else jumps out at you? When I was doing our grounding meditation, was that just on Monday? On Monday for the Practicum 01 class, I take the card that I picked last year and I read the energy of it, and then I lead a guided meditation, which, by the way, all of this content I'm talking about is included in the Practicum class, and it's $111 a month, and you sign up to do it for a year with us. Magic, like absolute magic. But we were talking in that meditation about the 4 spotlights at the top. So if you were, and this is a collective reading, so I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. This is a collective card. So we're tapping into what's the current energy of the collective right now. And it's this, standing on a stage, humanity standing on a stage, talking to our community. So this could be all of us. It could be all of humanity. It could be Gaia with humanity, but it could also just be so many of us in the collective are standing on our stages and celebrating the work that we've been doing and bringing this leadership energy forward in celebration mode, which would make sense with the completion of a year-long cycle. We're like, ta-da, so many of us. Here I am, I'm back, I'm done, I'm stepping forward, whatever our experience is. But who are these 4 spotlights, or who's running the 4 spotlights? Who are the 4 that are spotlighting you? And for me, when I see spotlights like this, I always think guides or angels, archangels. And so for me, when I look at this card, it's, which of my guides are most present in my life right now, most alive in my awareness, as really highlighting my work, showcasing me and what I do to the ones around me. Like, who's got my back? Who's shining a light on the work that I'm doing or the way that I'm living? For you, it might be more physical people. So I was talking about my husband being in the stage union. They do big concerts and events and also small theaters and gigs, locally. So sometimes he runs the spotlight, sometimes he's on stage doing sound. But the people who are running the spotlight have all of their attention focused on the person who's moving, because you don't know if this person's going to go this way or backwards or forwards. And so you have to keep all of your attention on one person and follow them with the spot. And so when I see this card, I feel like there are 4 individual laser focused beings, spiritual or physical, who are really consciously focusing on you and what you do and how you're doing it and how to support you in doing it and shining light on your brilliance. Like, they are focused on you. And so as we tap into this card for the collective humanity, see what comes forward in your awareness. Are there guides that you're working with? You might even want to flip it. You might be one of those running a spotlight on someone in your collective community. Like yesterday, I had my friend Li Ying Lim on our Lighting Up the Grid in Instagram. I do these Instagram lives every Wednesday. Jade is not moving. You're so funny. If she starts bumping the mic, you'll hear her. But I was saying to Li Ying, I see Lighting Up the Grid as me holding the spotlight on whoever is sitting in the chair, in the hot seat, in the living room couch virtually with me on Instagram. And so I'm shining a light on their brilliance And each week I bring a new person into the community and I shine the light on who they are. It's just gorgeous. And they get to share their story and talk about, their work and their mission in life and all the good things, like the lessons they've been learning. So maybe when you see this card, you see yourself up here more in the spotlight position. Maybe you see yourself on stage, or maybe it's a combination. Maybe sometimes you're this and sometimes you're this. Maybe sometimes you're in the audience. You see all the hands in the air. You're in the audience and you're cheering for the whole experience. So like this morning, I was watching a podcast by Andre Ducum and Matthias DeStefano, and I was in the audience for sure, celebrating that these two were on a stage, sharing their wisdom, having this incredibly deep and beautiful conversation that opens up something in my awareness. And so the roles may shift as we play our part in the collective humanity. But what I get from this card overall is there's a lot of performance. Maybe some of it is theatrical entertainment with not much value. And maybe a lot of it is really good content, really powerful messages coming through the collective consciousness, streaming out into humanity and waking people up. The spotlights are like getting people to expand what they know or have believed to be true about the human realm, about spiritual, the ethereal and matter, spiritual and physical. Maybe what's happening right now is more and more people are participating or paying attention. Maybe the voices are new. I talked about this last month, to not be afraid. Like there might be new voices coming into your awareness, and what new frequencies or vibrations do they have to offer you? So there's a lot of movement of energy that is stage-based, meaning platform-based. So coming through TikTok, coming through Instagram, YouTube, all the platforms, Facebook. Yeah. I could go on and on. I think you got what I mean from that card. So that is the collective now. And then Jade was just sitting on this one. The highest potential for the next lunar cycle. Jade was clearing any resistance for us. What do you notice about this card? What emotions does it bring up? Which colors on the card jump out at you the most? Blues, the greens, the purples, the skin color on the hands, the steam going in and out of the cups. Like, what do you notice the most? And trust that what you see, the imagery that is most relevant to you is activating something in your awareness, because there's a message just for you that's coming through that. So when I look at the steam or the movement of the energy, it looks almost like rainbows and sparkly light dancing from the hands to the cups. Can you see how there's so much happening in that space in between? It's like all the alchemy is happening. You know what it reminds me of? When we would go with the kids to the museum, they had a place where you could put big metal rings in, what was it called? The stuff you blow on and then bubbles come out, but you'd put these big rings into the bubble mix and you'd pull it up and this huge bubble would follow the ring, and you'd try to see how high you could get it before it popped. It looks like that to me, like just magic in motion happening. Yeah, so how would I interpret this card for you? I would say it's taking the message of the individual and collective now, and it's saying, let's collaborate. So right now we have a lot of individuals who are by themselves, believing them to be by themselves, even if they're staying on a stage. Most of them are staying on a stage by themselves. What about if we have more collaborations, more partnerships? which would make sense as we are in Pluto and Aquarius and it's a new moon in Pisces. It would very much make sense that it's about how can you come together? How can you join hands, join forces with others that are in alignment with you? And what magic gets co-created? So they already had probably light and energy flowing if it was an individual hand in an individual cup straight up and down. Like if there were two, there probably would already be some energy running up and down. But look at how beautiful it is when it dances between the two cups. How it can merge and the colors of the cups can exchange. You know, the color of the liquid in each can exchange and create something new. It's just a whole different play that happens when we co-create with somebody else. What I find also in co-creation, and I have both platforms or both options. I have my Guys Love podcast, which is me sharing my reflections individually. I stream consciousness about where I am in my human journey on my own. And I've been doing that for years. And so there's just this one-way delivery. And it's been beautiful. And what I have found is I also want the conversational delivery of energy. I want the activation that happens when I'm sitting with someone who I really respect and admire and listening to them. And something they say sparks something in me. And so I ask them a question, which then sparks something new in them. And then they share a new reflection. And so suddenly we have this shift in the energy because there's more than just the one. Even though I feel like when I do Gaia's Love, I have all of my guides sitting around me, giving me messages, nudging me. It's definitely not one, it's multi, but not in the physical. And so this card really seems to be encouraging. Find the ways you can hold hands with others who are a match to you in the energy and see what physical manifestation can flow when you're doing it together, two people. And the hand holding is significant. They're not just next to each other. They're intertwined. They're counting on each other, contributing to each other, allies. They're, doing it as a team, which is very different than, just doing it side by side. It's a team. And so where in your human experience right now can you start to weave in more of the Two of Cups energy? It might be in your home life. Maybe there's ways that you are able to partner with your partners or your roommates or your family members in ways that you haven't before. So maybe there's a willingness to ask for what you need and allow yourself to receive what you need. Or if you're already in overflow, to offer to those around you more support, more care, more attention, knowing something beautiful will happen when you're giving and receiving more than you were before within the relationship. You might find it's happening at your work, or the potential is there at your work, your community, your neighborhood. Here we are in March, so it's about springtime. We're going to have all of the neighbors out working in their yards and doing their spring projects. My husband is going to be on spring break. My son is home for spring break. My friend is coming to town during spring break. There's a lot of rebirthing energy, clearing the old stagnant winter energy here in the Midwest out and creating something new, generating something new. So it's a beautiful time to call in partnerships, to call in new connections in ways that maybe haven't been possible because it's been the winter season, at least here in our area of the world. And then just see what happens without being attached to, I'm holding your hand, where's the magic? We're partnering, I don't see the alchemy. If there's a way to just trust and hold hands and then see what happens. At first, it may just be the pleasure of having someone to hold hands with, someone to partner with, someone to share the journey with. And then from there, You don't even know what's possible. That feels like a great way to end and carry us into the extended reading and carry us into the total solar eclipse new moon in Aries in April, which is going to be so cool. All right. Yeah. Thank you for being here with me. If you're interested in the extended, I will be putting the link to that below. It is $33 and it also includes the meditation. It's a great way to get to know me and my work. If you have not yet meditated with me, it's a beautiful way to do so. It's about 20 minutes and so much fun. All right. I wish you all the love at this new moon in Pisces. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.